Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie Esther here. And well, we got that fourth and final ink illustration provided to us by Dead by Daylight, which is all part of setting up the teasers for this chapter 22. Let's check it out here. So it comes with this tweet by Dead by Daylight today. Again, nothing written here except a link, and the link takes you to this website, the Fresno Memorial Center of Arts and Culture. This isn't an actual website. This is actually part of Dead by Daylight's own website that they've propped up this phony website for the purpose of setting up these teasers for the next chapter. So on November the 1st, we got this illustration of the tower. Then on the 2nd, we got the nest. And on the 3rd, we got this crow close up. And finally, we have this image that is a bunch of crows, but you can see that they're framed in such a way as to capture someone's face. This is actually an amazing illustration. This is incredible. Let's blow it up as much as possible so that you can drink all this in. The entire thing is made up of birds, crows. Like the mouth is a crow, the nose is a crow in the distance, the eyes are crows. The around the cheekbones, those are crows in flight. Everything you see here is crows. It's just impressive. This is a magnificent piece of art. Not what I thought it was going to look like at all when we saw the blurred image. It's really truly amazing. Like you just sit here and look at it and you're like, that's a crow too. It's really incredible. So all right, so what do we think about this? This image is entitled Crows. Let's go ahead and do our little fake hacking on the Fresno website here, and I'll show you what we get off this. Okay, so we're going to do our little hackerman trick to hack the website. So we're going to go on right-click, inspect, and then we're going to pull this over so we can click on console, and we're going to put in the Fresno Memorial Center for Arts and Culture, DOS initialization, parentheses, and that'll bring up our little DOS menu. Now we can pull this all the way off to the side here now. And then we're going to do what we did yesterday, where we're going to try and get the asset going here. So start, assets, images, and then 2021. 11, and today was 04, and this image is titled crows plural .jpeg. And okay, access code is needed to open this file. So for this access code, what we're going to do is we had taken all the letters before and unscrambled it into the Black Vale, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take all of those letters and put them back into numbers, and we're going to enter those in here in the order as the Black Vale this time. So that's going to be 20, 8, 5, 2, 12, 1, 3, 11, 22, 1, 12, 5. Access granted. Here we go. So it comes back with this error, and then the error that it gives you is simply the error message that we've seen on all the other pages when you click something else. So we're kind of back to square one. It just goes in a loop, and you don't really gain any information from this. Just in case you were wondering why I wouldn't have put that in here, it's just because I want to show you that it doesn't really do anything. It takes you back to these other spots where when you would click something, you would get that error, and it's just the same number. So there's nothing to be gained from that. However, that doesn't mean that there isn't anything that we can gain from this website. There's something significant here, I would say. Okay, so we had wondered what this fourth illustration was going to be here, and you know, it seemed like it was going to be a portrait of some kind. Is it a self-portrait or a portrait of someone else? We don't know. I'm going to show you the possibility that this might be a self-portrait here. I don't know about you. I don't want to make any assumptions, but it does look like it has a feminine look to this character. It could just be that smoky eye effect that we're getting from those crows. but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I think that this is probably a female. And another thing that you might notice here is there's the ability to translate this web page from English to French. And when you pick French, there are some clues in here that the artist C Mora is female because of the nature of the French language. So if you go through here and you look down here at the bottom, C Mora was born in Chile. So this version here, nay, this is the feminine form of born. If it was a masculine form, there would only be one E here, not two. Same thing with devenu, which is the conjugation of the verb devenir, to become. So when they talk about how the artist became famous in the 1970s, if this was a male artist they were referring to, there would be no E on the end of this verb. And then another example of that, let's see, where is it here? There was something about set. Where was that part? Oh, here it is. Set artist. So if this is the feminine form of this artist. If it was masculine, it would just be CET. So there are a lot of indications here that the artist is female just because of the nature of the French language and the way the article is written. Oh, and by the way, big shout outs to my mod Tofanaki, who actually lives in France. And while I have had 4 years of French in high school, I'm pretty rusty. So he held my hand and walked me through some of that language so that I could understand it and explain it to you without sounding entirely stupid. Okay, so I don't think anybody can deny that we're dealing with an avian theme here in these illustrations. Not so much in this first image, which is entitled Tower, but subsequent images called Nest, Crow, and then Crows. There's no denying that we're definitely dealing with some birds related to the fog. Now, I memed on the first day because remember on the first day when you clicked on the Facebook link here, it showed us this crow right away. So I just threw out some memes out there about the television show Schitt's Creek, where Moira Rose stars in a horror movie called The Crows Have Eyes, and I threw out some GIFs on that. And now, like, seeing the unblurred version of this fourth image, maybe this is a little bit closer to being on the nose than I could have ever dreamed when I threw the memes out. Because, like, I'm just wondering now if there's some dev out there that was a fan of Schitt's Creek and was watching Moira Rose in the faux horror movie on the TV show and said, hey, we have crows in game. We can do a killer like that in our game. Because this really makes me think of Moira Rose from The Crows Have Eyes when I see this image. But yeah, okay, so let's talk about what it could be. Okay, first I should note that many people told me that crows do not exist in Chile. They don't even exist in South America, which I found fascinating. The closest thing that I could find was a bird from the Chilean region called the mountain caracara. And this is more of a falcon than a corvid. A corvid would be a crow, a raven, a magpie, a blue jay even. Those are corvids, but this bird's more of a falcon, and it would, you know, serve the purpose, but I don't think they're going to change the bird in Dead by Daylight. It's not going to ruin my immersion, you know, if we have this Chilean character who has something to do with crows, but in theory has probably never seen a crow in their real life before. I'm going to be okay with it. My game where people are impaled with hooks through their body and somehow walk away without a scratch sometimes, it isn't going to ruin my immersion if we have the wrong birds, if you know what I mean. This picture, however, of the nest piques my curiosity, where you see these baubles strung from the sides, and I wonder if this has anything to do with the chapter, collecting trinkets or whatnot, but that's also a fallacy. Like, people think that crows collect items and hoard them. They don't really hoard anything other than food. In fact, crows are actually scared of shiny things, and they're not interested in it. However, they will bring you stuff that they have no use for, something that's non-food, if they think you'll give them food in exchange for it. So crows have been known to bring shinies to people for gifts. Just to get off topic, if you'll permit me. This is a fascinating series of videos where this man taught magpies to exchange bottle caps that they found for peanuts. It's fascinating because crows, corvids are very smart birds, and he taught them how to bring him bottle caps in exchange for food. So they recognized bottle caps as food. So yeah, every once in a while, you know, they can convert shinies into food and be interested in trinkets, but they don't have any use for them themselves to hoard them in any way. That does, however, bring me to my next point, a Chilean mythical bird that is interested in precious metals. And we're going to explore the mythology of the Alicanto here. So the Alicanto is a glowing nocturnal bird comparable to the carbuncle, perhaps sharing the same folkloric origin. It is known to inhabit Chile and has been reported from Atacama, San Bernardo, Santiago, Talagante, and Tarapacá. So Atacama is that area of the geolocation. Alicantos feed exclusively on metal ores and take on the color of the metal they ingest. A gold-eating Alicanto emits a golden light, while silver-eating variety glows a cold metallic gray. Rare copper-eating Alicanto is greenish with large wings, a hooked beak, long legs, and sharp claws, and due to its phosphorescence, an Alicanto does not cast a shadow. The eyes are bright and gleam silver. These birds are flightless, but their wings are perfectly functional. They will often gorge themselves on metal, filling their crop with so much that they cannot fly. At best, they can run fast with wings held open, and a full Alicanto can barely drag itself along the ground. Alicantos live around mines and hidden treasure and nest in small caves. Okay, so now remember, the geolocation of those coordinates in the error is from a mining town, right? Now, there was a saltpeter mine. Is that a valuable ore? Pretty close though, right? Let's see. As an Alicanto indicates the presence of precious metal, finding one can be highly lucrative. For that reason, they are sought out by prospectors, engineers, miners, and unscrupulous looters, hoping that the birds will lead them to rich veins. However, an Alicanto is highly protective of its food sources, and if it knows it's being followed, it will stop glowing and disappear into the darkness, or worse, lead its pursuers off a cliff. And a lot of times you see that these Alicantos are drawn with baubles hanging from their beaks and things, or hoarding treasure, stuff like that. So that, to me, kind of fits in with the with this nesting where you see these strings hung from it with baubles on it. Another myth that many of you shared with me in the YouTube comments was of this creature here called the chonchon. The chonchon is a bird of ill omen from Chile and Argentina. It originally hails from the Araucanian Mapuche folklore. Chonchon is also the name of a kind of kite. In its simplest form, it is a bird of the night, an owl that flies on silent wings during the night to announce illness, death, or some other unwelcome event. When its croaking is heard, it is advised to throw ash into the air and utter a few prayers in the hopes of turning away its evil. The chonchon is also said to be a kalku, or evil sorcerer in disguise. It resembles a human head with oversized wing-like ears that allow it to fly. During the night, these sorcerers' heads detach themselves from their bodies and fly around to cause mischief, invisible to most. Their ominous tue 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 call announcing misfortune. They have the same powers as sorcerers do and have been known to suck blood of sleepers. So this is like a vampire bird head. If this woman about to detach her head and have it fly at me to suck my blood, no. But it is, you know, it's from the appropriate region. You can see down here by the map. So perhaps I can't get over those ear wings, though. That is something else. And finally, we have the lechuza. Lechuza are either shape-shifting witches or spirits in Hispanic folklore. I don't think this one is the appropriate region, but let's go with it anyway, because a couple of you showed me this too. The appearance of this creature is a human-sized bird with a woman's face. Lechuza are women who have sold their souls to the devil in exchange for magical powers, and at night they transform into monsters with a bird's body and a woman's face, similar to depictions of harpies of Greek mythology. Many of you also suggested a harpy killer here. Then they fly through the night in search of prey. When a Lechuza finds her target, she'll perch in a location where they can't easily be seen, and then will make either strange whistles or the sound of an infant crying, and anyone who attempts to determine where the sound is coming from is at risk of becoming the Lechuza's dinner. Lechuza will then swoop down and carry off the confused and horrified individual. Man, if we get picked up by a big bird in the game... Look at this picture, though. This is terrifying. If I saw that in the game, I would want to go the other way, wouldn't you? Look at that. Okay, so that's what I got for you for mythology. Okay, so that's what I've got for you today. This image is just still stunning to me. It's amazing. It's not what I was expecting at all. I was expecting like a simple self-portrait just to see it all made out of crows. It's just stunning. I would buy a poster of this if they sold it in the real shop.deadbydaylight.com. Wouldn't you? If they put together a portfolio, like a mock package of the artist's work with even these 4 prints in it that you could frame and display, I'd buy that. Wouldn't you? What do you think? Would you like? This one is just amazing to me. I love it. Now that all 4 of the illustrations have been revealed, I'm hoping that they're going to build on this even further with perhaps a cinematic teaser tomorrow to, wet our beaks for the weekend, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I hope we get some more information tomorrow. It looks like probably there's going to be some crow-related powers or perks involved in this chapter, which maybe, you know, if there's some crow-related perks that might be beneficial to the rest of the killers in the game as teachables. It's going to be super exciting to see what happens. I cannot wait for it. This has been such a well-done teaser, and here's to hoping that the rest of the chapter will be equally remarkable. I'm assuming that the title is Portrait of a Murder, just because that's what it says at the end for teaser on the website URL. So that's what I've been calling the chapter. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's my assumption. But yeah, I can't wait to see it. And again, since we've had teasers all week, there's probably going to be a public test build next week, but there hasn't been anything official announced. So we'll just stay tuned for that. Once we see some cinematic teasers, maybe they'll give us an indication of an actual public test build date, and I look forward to sharing that with all of you. Anyway, thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell like a wraith so you don't miss the next video. Take care of each other in and out of the fog, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. It's a Gen Rush life for us. It's a Gen Rush life for us. Set a hiding, we do gens. Set a randoms, we got friends. It's a Gen Rush life.